Okay, so yeah, should be recording now, hopefully. So, yeah, today we're doing another run of Currency Wars, although this time we're not going to be in the Wealth Creator difficulty. So I've been, making a lot of videos and doing a lot of testing about Wealth Creator difficulty and stuff. But I mentioned that I wanted to do some more, kind of off-meta teams and do some experiments, and I wanted to try to find a difficulty for it. And Wealth Creator 1 might be the difficulty that I do it in at a later point, but for today, just to, keep the video kind of focused on just showcasing the build and stuff, we're just going to go down to Monarch of Capital at the lowest difficulty. I wish we could have all affixes, because I'm mostly just concerned about, the enemy HP is why I want to play on the lower difficulty, just to keep the run a bit shorter and stuff, just because, I don't really want to have, a hour-long run fail and stuff. But yeah, today we're doing a Tribbie team with Tribbie as the DPS. I did test this in Monarch of Capital 1. I don't know if you guys saw it at the beginning there, but I did actually manage to get a clear with this in the Monarch of Capital difficulty, so it is viable there. But I don't know about the later stages of it, but at least in the early stages it is something that you can run and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna start with you and you. Yeah, I know that I don't have the maximum number of people, but it doesn't matter for these first stages. So I've been testing a bunch of different teams. I tried some Argenti Reroll. I was forgetting his name. But yeah, I did run an Argenti Reroll team earlier and stuff, and it was kind of interesting. Part of me does want to hold on to that Tingyun, but I'm not going to. Actually, I can. Those items are kind of weird, but maybe make it work. I want to hold on to my suitcases that have items in them for now. But yeah, the main idea of this team, to kind of talk about it while we're getting everything set up, is that a lot of... Well, let me pick one of these, actually. Every time I enter a new node, I get 8 coins. Is that how that works? Kind of a weird setup for now. We still don't have Tribbie, but that's fine. Just the fact that I get Evernight Hyacinth now is interesting. The way that this build works, to finally get into it, is we get Tribbie, and then we get a bunch of supports. I wanted to do a run where I got every Harmony character and put them onto a team, because a lot of the Harmony characters provide buffs for other characters and stuff, obviously, as a Harmony character normally would in the game. So the idea was that you get as many of them as you can fit, put them all into a team and see what happens, and have one of them be a carry. And I found that Tribbie is the best for that in my testing so far, and that I didn't actually get a full Harmony, every single Harmony unit on the field, but I did have a lot of them in the run that succeeded, and this did work at Wealth Creator 1. It probably won't work at the highest difficulties like Wealth Creator 20, but it would at least be able to clear some of the early stages. So I just thought I would kind of showcase that whenever we get into it. So yeah, let me see. I know kind of, I took a screenshot of the items that I need. I still don't have all the items, recipes memorized and stuff, so I'm gonna have to look through these for a minute. So let's see. Tribbie had... Okay, I know one of the recipes, so we need one of these, right? Yeah, because we want this Fist of Fury. And then double dagger, or folding knife. I call it dagger just because it's that knife, but yeah, take that and this, and we can give that to Evernight for now. And all the rest of these are kinda awkward to use. We'll reforge one of these stars. I actually want to keep the dagger as is for now, because we're going to turn it into this Firestorm Surge. Because Tribbie can stack that up really quickly. Anytime that Tribbie does a follow-up attack, which is triggered whenever any of your characters on field do an ult, Tribbie gains a stack. Whenever Tribbie does his ult, or their ult, they gain a stack. And then whenever Tribbie does one of her auto attacks, then she also gains a stack from that. So, or they, I guess. I mean, I don't. There's kind of like 3 of them, but if we're just talking about the main one, I guess.
Don't let me down.
But yeah, basically, whenever Tribbie does a basic attack, they will gain a stack. Whenever Tribbie does an ult, they will gain a stack. And then anytime that one of your characters ults, Tribbie will do a follow-up attack, and that will also gain a stack of that. And Tribbie not only gains a bunch of stacks of that item, but they also are really good at let me grab these characters and we'll do 2 free revolt. And then we need to sell. So yeah, the way that Tribbie's abilities work is whenever any of your characters deal damage, Tribbie adds a little bit of damage onto their attack. So if you're doing like AoE attacks, that's a bunch of extra damage there. And that damage scales with Tribbie's actual damage output as well. So if you have a really highly damaging Tribbie, then like you'll see whenever we get into it, I guess. It's probably going to be a lot easier to explain it then. So let's just see if we can find Tribbie first. So there's our Tribbie. We are 1 item short on Tribbie. Oh wait, they actually have the item that we need, so that's good. It works out perfectly. Run that. And yeah, we won't be using Evernight in this build, so we can just go ahead and sell her now. She's done her job. So Tribbie's already going to deal quite a lot of damage with this setup, but we really won't have Tribbie pop off until we get to 3-star Tribbie. May and Asta both give the Cosmic Scholar bond, which I will still have the Cosmic Scholar bond active later on in the run as well, but or by running like Herda over Asta. But they can still stack it and have the cake level up and stuff for now, so that's why we're doing that. As you can see, our damage is already quite high. This is in a lower difficulty, so they won't have too difficult of a time clearing already. But as you can see, Tribbie stacks up this item a lot, so I'm actually going to pause this here, so that way I can talk about this. So, after each attack by the wearer, their on-field, off-field strength increases by 5%. This effect is stackable. So, notice how it's already at 3 stacks, and Tribbie's only had like 1 actual turn. Okay. Hi, so talking, but yeah, let's see. is it listed here as gameplay feature? Okay, I guess I can see it here. So yeah, as you can see, it's already at 3 stacks. Their speeds increase a little bit. Their on-field strengths increased from this item as well, increases on-field strength. This one makes it where you have a higher lucky hit chance with higher HP, which Tribbie is going to get a lot of HP later on. They already have quite a bit, because Tribbie's HP pulls from every one of your on-field characters, including their memo sprites as well, so it's already 4 different characters, including little Ika that Tribbie is pulling from, which that also increases Tribbie's damage and everything. And as I was mentioning before, I will show it here with Hyacinth. So if I skill with Hyacinth, and then you see that quantum number there, like the purple numbers are quantum damage, that's Tribbie's damage. And like whenever I attack with Asta, Tribbie is going to go up in damage a little bit, even though Tribbie didn't actually do anything. That's just one of Tribbie's abilities. Having their ult active, it makes it where enemies take a little bit of quantum damage. That's based off of Tribbie's damage as well. So with Tribbie getting higher and higher damage output, that little extra quantum damage is also adding to Tribbie's damage there, and it's also increasing. But it does not increase that stack. That stack is only increased from basic attacks, or follow-up attacks, or ultimates. So yeah, I think I've explained that now. So that's the basic idea of this team. We actually do need AoE. Like, we will need a Naxa for sure. I didn't actually use Tingyun in my version of this build that I ran earlier. We don't need AoE right now, though. It's more important to have in Cosmic Scholar and have that stacking up. I give this to Hyacinth. You can kind of just give it to whoever in this build. But yeah, we're gonna have Tribbie, Remembrance Trailblazer, Hyacinth, Cyrene, Robin, Sparkle, Anaxa, Silverwolf, and Veron were the characters that I used in the previous run, so that's the ones that I'm planning to use for this one. Yeah, the main reason that Tribbie is not really popping off in damage right now, like Tribbie's already quite a lot of damage, and same thing with Hyacinth, even though Hyacinth's 2-star, Tribbie's only 1-star. The main reason that this damage isn't necessarily popping off yet is because we don't have an on-field character that is proccing their ults a lot or anything for Tribbie to follow up. But once we get the Herda, then... or not the Herda, but regular Herda. This doesn't use the Herda in the build. This team will pop off a lot more. I'll grab you for now. Actually, no, we'll level up. A little bit. And then we've got a reward here, so no need to level up any further. So yeah, we've lost a few rounds, so we lost a little bit of gold from not win streaking, but it doesn't really matter because we've still got our HP and we've still got 50 gold. So, and then we're about to get a bunch of gold from this. So, go ahead and sell you and you. Okay, there's Herta, so we can replace Asta. And now we're level 6, so we can start attempting to find our characters that we're rerolling for. So, which is Tribbie and potentially Hyacinth. But mostly Tribbie's all that I really care about for now. I guess I will take an early Robin. I'd like to have 2-star Tribbie for this fight. Armsy is way more important than Robin. You know, that seems like a weird play, but just trust me on that. And then let's see, what are these boots? Do these boots make... Yeah, okay, so we can get Chasing Stars. I would like to do that. Oh, wait. I actually want to get... Yeah, Planetary Drill. Planetary Drill is a bit more important than Chasing Stars. I can reforge one of these stars into hopefully something useful. And yeah, neither of these are really that great either. Oh well. There's like a few options there. Chasing Stars does the exact same thing as this, pretty much, so I will just use that instead. So now the damage is actually going to start popping off stuff into this fight. This is only a single target fight into Sam, and Sam also reduces max HP, which is actually kind of bad for Tribbie, but as you will see in this fight, it kind of doesn't matter. Okay, good. Mim did support the right unit. I wasn't sure if that would happen. Yeah, as you can see, the Tribbie damage is already quite high. I'll show the results of the attempt I did in Wealth Creator and stuff at the end. My RMC in that actually out-damaged my Tribbie in that attempt. I want to grab... We'll grab this, because I don't really need damage reduction, or like attack reduction on enemies with this setup. Then Confidence Injector as well is really good. Oh, I actually needed to roll there, not level. Oh well. Yeah, it's fine to dip a little below the gold. Current goal is to try to find 3-star Tribbie now, so we're at 4 Tribbies. We need to get to a total of 9 for 3-star Tribbie. So yeah, Reroll May, she gives Res Pen, if you guys didn't know. So a really big aspect of this build is using the character's abilities as the characters themselves, not just the traits, because the traits in this game mode are really fun and unique and everything, but you can also just look at the characters that you have on your team and try to determine how to plan your builds and stuff around that. So I know that a character like Tribbie gives all type res pen, damage percent buffs. They just deal a pretty good amount of damage for a support. They're AoE focused, they have follow-up attacks, they're really good at generating a ton of energy and everything with easier S1 Tribbie at least. If you're running Dance 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 Tribbie and you're on like an HP rope, you might want to swap to an energy regen rope for this build, or like just try to have some sort of energy generation on Tribbie for this build, because your HP stats don't really matter in this game mode. And then Ron May gives all type res pen, weakness break efficiency, more damage boost. The Trailblazer gives Mims support, which gives true damage. You get crit damage. You get some damage boost from the item and everything. That also goes to Tribbie whenever give them the Mim buff. So all of that is adding up. And then as far as enemy debuffs go, we have fragility on them. We have res pin for a debuff from Tribbie and Ronmei as well. There's like a debuff and a buff at the same time because it's defense ignore. We only have one character that's going to be dealing 0 damage. Even Robin deals damage in the same... Oh wait, we had 5. Tribbie's not 4. My bad. On that earlier. Just go ahead and buy the shop because we got a free refresh. We can do that. I'm buying units so that way the pool, as you can see, we have a 40% chance to get a 2-cost character show up in the store. However, there's only a certain number of each individual 2-cost character, so there's only like a certain number of Tribbies, a certain number of Huahuas, a certain number of Feixiaos in that 40%. So the more characters that we take out of that pool, the more likely we are to get other characters. So we're trying to make it where we're getting rid of all of the characters in the pool that we don't want, so that way we have a higher chance of getting the ones that we do. Is the main idea of this. And we do not need 2-star around May. 1-star works just fine. There we go. Hopefully my math did not fail me, and it did not. So still keeping above 50 gold as we roll down. Once I have another Tribbie or 2, I might roll down to get the 3-star version.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Yeah, this is actually like a more optimized set of items for my supports than I had in my previous run as well. It's kind of interesting. Because I had a setup on my Remembrance MC that made them deal a lot of damage in my previous run. It was actually more damage than my Tribbie dealt in that run, despite my Tribbie being built for the main DPS of that team. But they only passed Tribbie at like the very end. Tribbie had been dealing the most damage for the majority of the fight. Drill pistol is, yeah, that item, so I mean, it doesn't really matter which item we take, because I'm probably just getting it refreshed. I just want to buy the unit that's the highest cost, or Tribbie, and none of those were Tribbies, so. So buy the whole shop. If you ever have a free refresh, always buy the whole shop, and then refresh to thin the pool, and then you can just sell them back afterwards. Um, I was trying to sell them by dragging them into the shop. I think that's how you do it in TFT, so maybe I'm just TFT brained at the moment. Yeah, don't want to 2-star that character, because if I 2-star them, as you can see, the price of a 2-star character, if I were to sell them, would give me 5 gold, despite them costing 6 gold, so you actually lose the gold if you stack the 2-star character. Now with the 1-star characters, if I were to have 3 Ting Yuns and combine them into 2-star Ting Yun, they sell for 3 gold. So if you're stacking the 1-star characters, you can do that and not lose money, but if you're stacking anything above the 1-cost characters, I mean, not the 1-star, but the 1-cost characters, anything above that will lose you money, so do need to keep that in mind whenever you're rolling like this. So there we go, another Tribbie. So we're only 1 Tribbie off, so I will just go ahead and roll for the final Tribbie, and hopefully not take too long to find it. There we go. Yeah, we're just gonna sell that Hyacinth back, and we'll keep the Sparkle for now, just because I do use Sparkle in the final version of this build. She's just a support. In the final version, like, she just gives skill points, which can help with all these characters using skill points and stuff on the team. But yeah, Tribbie's damage is going to go up a lot more with the 3-star version, so I do think rerolling 1 to 3 cost characters is significantly easier than trying to get like a 3-star 4 cost or a 3-star 5 cost, obviously, just because the odds are so much lower, and you're really not going to be hitting that until much later. Like, we got the 3-star Tribbie on 2-4. We could have gotten the 3-star Tribbie on like 2-2 if I rolled down for it, but I decided to try to save money, and I could have even delayed this until like 2-6 and probably still had more money and would have been able to get the 3-star Tribbie while keeping my 50 gold, but I figured that I would be able to find Tribbie pretty quickly, just because I already had so many copies. So thought that it was a good idea to roll down there. But yeah, this is not what the trial versions of these characters. I'll show the builds of my characters at the end and stuff, for the ones that show up in the final version of this game, at least. But yeah, as you can see, we have Ron May and Herda on this team, and they're still providing value in terms of the damage on this team, but they're also getting this Cosmic Scholar Cake Cat to level up slowly over time, which is giving some free stuff occasionally, which is nice. So we can buy this for now, just or actually I want to potentially get 2-star Herda, so we can hold on to our free refreshes though, because the free refreshes do stack, so we can just save the rest of our free refreshes until we start looking for Cyrene later. So. But you can either run this item on Anaxa, or you can run it on Hyacinth in this team, because both of those characters hit like every enemy. Hyacinth might attack a little bit faster. You can also run it on Remembrance MC as well. But yeah, Remembrance MC is really important for this build, just because they get energy whenever any of your other characters get energy, which can then allow them to either use them to bring up another character so that way they can generate more energy, or they might have their ult and be able to use that, and that would also be able to get another Tribbie sack. So this whole thing is just about trying to spam out as many really useful ults as possible. So that way we get out more Tribbie ults. So yeah, our Herda ended up dying a lot here, which is a little unfortunate just because she's really squishy. So, and the antimatter enemies are really annoying in the higher difficulty just because they do a lot of single target damage, and that was also an encounter stage, so yeah, overall just not the greatest of situations, but still fine. We can make one of these and just give it to Remembrance Trailblazer for now. You can actually run Wafa, and she's probably better because she gives energy. I'll still hold on to them for now, and then I'll do this as well. And potentially we can get 2-star in Axa, but we have like the main units that we need stars on at this point, so main thing is like trying to potentially find like 2-star Armcy, 2-star Anaxa maybe. I also do like Silverwolf in this team, but she can't really fit in this build at the moment. We can just give this to our Hyacinth. You don't know, Hyacinth has a lot of speed scaling in her kit, so I actually want to sell. So that way we can try to power level all the way up. So yeah, if we have Hyacinth be really fast, that also will allow her to ult a lot. And it will also boost Hyacinth's personal damage with this item. And Hyacinth, like Tribbie, is a support that also does a lot of damage. See that?
All will be swept away by the wind.
So you can also 3-star Hyacinth while you're trying to 3-star Tribbie, because since you've taken out all those Tribbies while you're rerolling for Tribbie and you're taking out all the other like 2-cost units and stuff, you can try to 3-star Hyacinth at the same time, but it's not really necessary for this build. It's just an option. And you can see if Wafa gives team-wide energy regen, so just an option. You can try to fit in like Sunday and Ting Yun if you want more energy. I like running the Cosmic Scholar though, so that's why I don't really want to have like the energy thing, because you can make it where you're getting a ton of energy on your Tribbie so that way they're able to ult more often and everything, but it's not necessary. And the Mim buff on Tribbie, you can either manually play Tribbie and force Tribbie to skill every time, so that way you're generating more energy, or you can just have Tribbie auto-attack. I was able to clear that Wealth Creator run with this build without needing to do any manual play, so either option works. If you're having Tribbie basic attack, Tribbie will have like a bit more damage, but you just won't be spamming out your ult as much. Which your ult is where the main damage comes from. And then your follow-up attacks and basic attacks just stack up the item. So they are still useful. Yeah, as you can see, Tribbie's gonna skill here because their ability would run out. And you do want to always have that up because that gives you a lot of extra damage on not just Tribbie but all of your characters. So. And the thing about this build is that Tribbie does deal the most damage most of the time. Like I had Argenti deal quite a lot of damage in my previous run of it, but most of the time it is going to be Tribbie's damage that's carrying you, so you want to try to ensure that your Tribbie is dealing as much damage as possible with that being the case. So we can try... I guess I should have bought the shop. I didn't follow my own advice. That's the thing there, right? Even though I say to do things, sometimes I'm not always 100% accurate in my gameplay, but yeah, we can grab you. We're looking for either Cyrene or Robin. Yeah, we got it, Robin. So that is where the roll down will stop for now. Robin buffs follow-up attack damage, and Tribbie's whenever you have the little rockets go off after other characters' ult that are not Tribbie, those count as follow-up attacks. So Robin does actually buff their damage, by the way. Just, once again, kind of going into the fact that these characters have abilities here that aren't in the traits. Like, Robin doesn't add anything useful to these traits. Like, if you're running Sparkle, then you can have Robin get the Planet of Festivities with Sparkle and use that to get like more lucky hit rate or more skill damage or whatever. But yeah, in this version, Robin's only just adding her abilities as Robin, which is like the extra follow-up attack damage, some extra attack, which doesn't do anything for Tribbie, and the extra action advancement whenever she ults. And whenever Robin ults, it's kind of like whenever Tribbie ults. She adds a little bit of her own damage to any damage that you do. So, as you can see right now, Robin's at 0 damage, but if Robin ults, which happens here, if that is reached, then you'll notice Robin's damage go up a little bit. Because like Tribbie, Robin adds a little bit of her own damage to people's attacks whenever her ult is active. So. But yeah, as you can see, Remembrance MC does do quite a lot of damage. So. Tribbie's damage goes up a little bit there, because she's adding her own damage to the total damage number. Despite the fact that she didn't even attack or anything there. The bad thing about having all these off-field characters like that is that Tribbie's ultimate does not proc whenever the off-field characters ult. It only procs whenever the on-field characters ult. That's why you want to have characters that have a lot of ways of spamming out their ults, which this team is really good at. And that's another reason why Cyrene's really important. Cyrene adds a lot of damage to Tribbie, but also gives everyone on field their ults whenever she ults. So that gives a lot of ult procs for Tribbie. We'll grab that. I wanted to see if I could find one 5-star character, but fortunately we did not. We got really good things, but we did not get what I was looking for. Yeah, this is good. Give Hyacinth some initial energy.
All will be swept away by the wind. I choose you.
Yeah, little Ika dying is actually kind of good because it advances Hyacinth, so she's able to get another stack of the anti-craft boots. Yeah, I could have just waited for that. I don't know why I didn't just wait for that. That's kind of not smart by me. Oh, now we're getting every 5 cost too. I mean, obviously the shop is going to have a lot of them, but 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. There, we can run that for now. Our Remembrance MC is going to deal a lot of damage here because they're also going to get buffed by the Cyrene ult. I guess I could have had those items re-rolling to potentially get the item that makes it where Cyrene gives instant ult. Would be a little more optimal, but it doesn't really matter. As long as Cyrene gets the ult one time, which she definitely has enough time to be able to with Robin. So don't necessarily have to worry about that. Now Cyrene's going to buff Tribbie. I don't know why Tribbie always ults before Cyrene buffs Tribbie with ult. And then not only that, Remembrance MC is going to use their ult despite the Mimbar being full. It's also a little bit of a waste, but that's just what the autoplay does. If you manually play, that's some things to avoid there, since it's wasting a little bit of resources. But yeah, as you can see, Tribbie just got like 20 million extra damage there, despite not even attacking or anything. Whenever Hyacinth's little Ika memo sprite used their attack from having the enhanced attack show up after Hyacinth's ult. It dealt a little bit of damage based on Tribbie's damage as quantum damage, which adds to Tribbie's damage, and that was 20 million extra damage in that one hit. So. But yeah, this will be the real test here, if this team can clear this enemy, because this enemy is really strong at the encounter stage. The encounter stages are just really strong versions of regular combat stages. So first, we're gonna buff the Remembrance MC. Cyrene just always does it that way. A lot of energy generation here. The attack buffs are at least useful on Anaxa and Herta a little bit. Look at their damage, it's definitely relevant. Not really that useful. If they happened to turn into Cyrene, maybe that could have been something. So, hopefully this enemy drops double photon battery, and then we're able to get the Cyrene ult at the start of combat, but we don't need it to be able to beat this boss. It just would make things a little easier. So surely it will do just that. But can do this. I mean, that buff doesn't really do anything. I guess we could try to go for this, but we're not in a great position to do so. I really just want to get 2-star Cyrene, is what I'm going for. So let's set up for that. So I'm going to clear out my shop here and buy all of these that I can. 4, 5, 2-star low gen one shop. There we have 1 extra Cyrene. There we go. And the reason these shops show up like this is because of the... Where can I see it? Oh, it's right here in the middle of the screen. Yeah, because of this procurement officer. It's every 7 refreshes. I thought it was every 5, but no, it's every 7 refreshes. You get a shop based on the same rarity of the character in your leftmost slot. So good for re-rolling specific tiers of units. And then if that tier of units is really small, like the 5 cost tier, then it's really good for trying to get a few copies of those specific units. So Argenti is a boss that is particularly weak to AoE teams, so that is something to keep in mind with this. The last boss that I cleared Wealth Creator with, or against with this team was the like evil Fianon thing where he's got the sword, the Flame Reaver, I think it's called. And that is also weak to AoE. It's like designed to be defeated by the Herda and Tribbie really easily, so that was part of the reason why I ran Tribbie as a DPS, is because I noticed that Tribbie just kind of dealt a lot of damage in general on the DPS meter on the side, and then I also had a really favorable matchup, so with both of those things you can run Tribbie, but yeah, I didn't really think about that with this just because I'm playing on a lower difficulty. I just wanted to run the team just to show that it is a team that you can run and that it is able to clear in higher difficulties. We're not at the highest, or we're Wealth Creator's like the highest difficulty, and then Wealth Creator 20 is the max. We're at the smallest level of the difficulty directly under Wealth Creator, Monarch of Capital 1 for this, just to be able to showcase the build. Because yeah, I didn't want to like have to do a bunch of runs today to try to get another run like the one I had earlier. I'm pretty sure this team should work fairly consistently in the lower difficulties of Wealth Creator, but once you get to like Wealth Creator 10 and above, it's going to be a lot harder to run this team over an Aglaia team. The Aglaia team is just like way too good not to run at those higher difficulties. It's far less RNG reliant than this team. This team, you do kind of need to have some form of these items on your Tribbie, which getting 3 items is a lot harder than trying to secure 2 items, and then you also want to have like some sort of defense shred, some sort of secondary buffing, or external buffing outside of just characters as well. Like these provide a lot of damage percent, that provides more lucky strike chance, and also some crowd control. You might want some sustain items as well, so it's more than, you know, just 4 boots, which is all you really need for the Aglaia team. Although at the highest difficulty you might need some sustain items on top of that, but yeah, as you can see, actually Hyacinth's the one dealing all the damage right now. I guess oh, it's because RMC gave the mem buffs to Cyrene because he's 2-star. Oh. Yeah, I guess you gotta watch out for that. Yeah, somehow that makes it where Hyacinth is dealing 1 billion damage. Yeah, that's the thing with this team. I didn't test it very much. I only had like 1 run with this team, and then I had been like kind of thinking about how I would run this team outside of that 1 run, and like testing some little variants of it. But yeah, A rank clear with no actual DPS on field. We had 2 DPS off field, but they're both 1 stars, so they're not really contributing much of the damage. Most of the damage is coming from the supports. And yeah, if you had 3-star Hyacinth, it would be even like higher here and stuff. But as I said, I did clear a higher difficulty with this team at Wealth Creator 1. And yeah, not only was Tribbie, well, Tribbie with a much higher damage, but The main thing was that my RMC, as you can see, my RMC actually has like kind of a DPS-oriented build. Not too dissimilar from how they were running there. But I also had like this item, which makes it, in this item, which make it where I was taking less damage from the enemies and stuff as well. So another thing to keep in mind with some of the different builds and stuff. But yeah. And then I want to make a video on Evernight reroll as well. I think that's probably the best 3-star reroll in the higher difficulties, even though I don't actually see anyone ever talking about Evernight reroll. Like, it never shows up as like a recommended build in the top right whenever you're running. So I wanted to make a video on that, but I need to do some testing of it myself because I've never actually like fully run that build, but just from what I've seen of how Evernight works in this mode and my understanding of how this mode works from all my testing so far, I'm imagining that it's going to be really good. So that video should be out sometime this week. I also want to do a video I'm going to do a video clearing the latest round of Apocalyptic Shadow. I'm about to go record that because it just came out today. And then I also want to do a video that's a tier list of all the characters in the game currently, because every year for the past 2 years I've been doing that. So it's been about a year since the last one came out, so I'll be ranking my thoughts on every character in the game in standard gameplay. And then I also wanted to do a tier list, but I'll probably save this for whenever I've done more testing. But I want to do a tier list of every on-field and off-field character in Currency Wars and my thoughts on them, and kind of explain, how I think they work and stuff. Even though, like, I was kind of like experimenting with this tier list and my current thoughts here. So if I go to tier list maker for Star Raw, yeah, like if I were to like currently rank the off-field characters or on-field characters, it would look something like this at the moment, like when I was thinking about it. So yeah, I don't really I don't know if I should rank it as like what I actually think of like how the characters play. This is just me ranking it based on like how they perform at the highest difficulty. Like obviously Aglaia is like really the only character that can clear the super high difficulty stuff consistently. And then other builds can clear if you get like really lucky, and then you have to get super lucky for these builds to be able to work. And then these characters aren't really like the main focus of the build, or they're just like really delayed, so they're a bit harder to pull off. And then these ones are only really played whenever you need the extra trees and stuff. But yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do the tier list, so that's why I'm not coming out with it anytime soon. But a little bit of a preview there, I guess. But yeah, that's my run of this build. So yeah, once again, I did manage to clear the higher difficulty ones. I don't really recommend this build at like Wealth Creator 20 or even like more than Wealth Creator like 5, just because it's gonna be really difficult to defeat the much stronger enemies and stuff without all of the items in place early on. Like I happened to get all the items super early in this run, is another reason why this run specifically worked in Wealth Creator 1. But yeah, that's why I tested it in Monarch of Capital instead of Wealth Creator. It's just because I didn't know when exactly I was going to be getting all the items and the 3-star Tribbie and stuff. Like I pretty much naturally got 3-star Tribbie in this run. It was a kind of crazy run, but I did it on my phone, so I wasn't recording it or anything while I was doing some other stuff anyway. So yeah, I've been testing a lot of builds, so expect more builds like that with me testing Argenti reroll and stuff. So yeah, I'll do some videos, and then like I did like a wrap-up one. I want to do a video on like Sela and Dot teams as well, because both of those teams can clear the highest difficulty stuff really consistently, but they're a lot harder to play. So I haven't really been able to get a good run of them to make a video about anyway. But yeah, I might be doing those soon. I just kind of wanted to do a video on this build just because I thought it was really unique, having Tribbie as a DPS and everything. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. Guess we'll see everyone in the next one.